Hello, my name's Mr. Wood and I'm the head of drama here at the Stonehenge School. I'm going to be talking you through what the GCSE drama course looks like here at the Stonehenge School. So, Year 9 is an introductory year and I like to coordinate it in a way that gives students a range of introductions to certain styles. We look at different skills and techniques in drama and what we can explore together in a very explorative way. So the premise of this is that we are exploring different styles which will then feed into the assessed parts of the course in years 10 and 11. We look at theatre conventions and job roles which will directly feed into the written exam at the end of year 11. Year 10 is where things start to get a little bit more real for the students, and we start with the devising theatre unit. That's worth 40% of the overall GCSE. It's broken down into 4 sections, so in essence they're 10% each. That is the performance, where students have to create the performance from scratch, and they don't have to be a performer to be able to get marked on this course. They can do this section, 40% of it, as a performer, as a set designer, costume designer, lighting or sound designer. They don't have to perform in every aspect of this course. They can if they would like to. Even if they are a confident performer, they can also dip into the design elements should they choose for either devising or a later one. 3/4 of this unit, the other 3/4, are all written. So there needs to be a certain amount of written skill to be able to pass this course. It is quite academic. There are, much like every other subject, there are a lot of written units. That's the nature of the beast, I'm afraid. So if you think that drama is all practical, sadly, that's not the case, as much as I would like it to be. We do different elements of the course in a range of different ways, and I'll come on to that more as I get towards year 11. But this part of the course is my most interesting, definitely my preferred part of the course, because it allows students to be free with what they're doing. It gives them the opportunities to develop certain skills in learning. So this part of the course is vastly different to the other two, purely because the way in which students learn is very diverse. They've got to use trial and error to get things right. They aren't going to be perfect the first time they come up with a scene, and they're going to need to delve into research and really start to analyse what it is they're doing as they're making the performance. Without doing those things, without a copious amount of research, without development and refinement of the piece, they've got nothing to write about in sections 2 and 3 of the log. So it's quite a holistic project, this one, which is why we spend the majority of year 10 on it. Definitely the first part from September right the way through into the start of summer term. Year 11 is where we start to develop in a different way of learning. So we begin year 11 with a scripted performance. If I've got my timings right, we normally give out these scripts towards the end of year 10 so that students can learn it over the summer, return in September, ready to go. And again, there are 2 options. So they can either perform or they can design. So if they have designed lighting for the scripted component in year 10, they can continue with designing lighting for a script in this section should they choose. Or they've got a few other options. If they want to trial out some performing, if they want to have a go at designing the set, the costume or the sound, again, that's absolutely fine. Realistically, I would advise that students choose this course based on what they enjoy the most. So if in their lessons they've had a brief introduction to designing the set, and they really liked the process there, where they sketch something out based on something they've read, they go away, they research, they redraft those sketches, they source materials to make it. Sadly, we don't have the time in our Key Stage 3 lessons to be able to build pieces of set. There's unfortunately not enough time. So when we are getting snippets in Key Stage 3, we are expecting students to grow just as much as we would as we're pulling this apart, and we are delivering more for that skill set. So with the set design, it goes from being just on the page to the stage in just a matter of 2 years. So as I've said, they can choose any design element that's listed on the slide. I give them their script for this, so it's based on how well I know the students. And luckily I've taught all of Year 8 at some point over their 2 years already, so I've already started to build up a little bit of understanding for who might take it and what they might be best suited at. Obviously Year 10 is a great indicator to know who they work well with, but also it gives off a lot of independence, and I can start to see individuals as they come through in their groups. So once I've assigned their script and they learn it, we start working to a very strict rota. We come in for after-school rehearsals, so I would expect students to be able to commit to that, especially for this part of the course, because it's examined by a visiting examiner. I won't be marking this. I do mark the devising unit, but this one has to be external. It's worth 20% of the course, so even though it's not massive, the marks do carry. So if the students do really well with this one, and more often than not, the designers tend to come out very well in this section of the course because it's marked based on what the examiner sees on the day. So, for example, if they're designing the set, then the examiner is going to sit down, watch the performers, and then they're also going to take on board how that set contributes to the intentions of the piece. And then the final part of Year 11, which is what we work to all throughout the course, is based in the written exam. That's worth 40% of the overall GCSE, and again it's cut into 3 sections. I say again, devising's in 4. I'm talking rubbish. It's cut into 3 sections. The first one, section A, is 4 1-mark questions, and that's on job roles and theatre terminology that we start way back in Year 9 and develop throughout Year 10 and 11. Section B is the heaviest weighted part of the course, and we study a play called The Crucible by Arthur Miller. It's all about witches, superstition, accusation, and reputation. So we're given 5 unseen questions, of which the students have to pick 4. They go up in marks the higher they go, and they're all about different aspects of that play. So one of them is always going to be on design, and 2 of them are always on on characterization in the performance, and the last one is a choice. So they can either write the heaviest question, which is all just 20 marks, just for that one question, based on performance or design, depending on what they feel comfortable with. So the reason why we're with AQA for this is because they give us a nice broad range of questions for the students to answer based on what they feel comfortable with. And then section C, that's all about live performance. So at some point in Year 11, we plan to take students to the theatre to be able to see a piece of live theatre. It doesn't matter too much what it is, as long as there is enough scope for us to answer one unseen question based on it. So we're given 3 unseen questions for live theatre. One of them is always on design, one is always on characterisation in the performance, and then the third one is one of those. So it doesn't really matter which one the students pick as long as they feel comfortable to answer it, confident in answering it. And that is pretty much the course in a nutshell. That's what students will go through over those 3 years. Now I want to talk about what the course does for the individual. So it obviously builds a lot of confidence in those who are willing to be open to developing their confidence. It will teach them a lot about discipline, and predominantly in performance, but also in their skills in listening, in collaborating, and it gives a general holistic view to the individual. So I like to think that it makes the person a lot more rounded. It develops their performance skills, their theoretical knowledge, and their technical skills in theatre, and the job roles involved in that. It pushes them to be independent and collaborative. So, for example, the designers, they're going to be working a lot more on their own with feedback from me and directorship from me. I'm going to be expecting a lot more from those students at a particular time. When I leave them to it, I'll go to the performers, and then it'll be a case of making them feel independent as they work on something that, again, I've given in a piece of direction. And then it enables them to be analytical and reflective with what they're saying, as well as giving them 3 different styles of learning throughout the course. And then finally, where can it take you as a job? First of all, an actor, obviously, a director, and then a drama therapist, which is something that not everybody always knows about, but that's using drama exercises to be able to develop the powers of drama, really, and how drama can be used to heal and to unearth problems and deal with them in a safe environment. Ones that are not so obvious are education, taking your skills not specifically to be a drama teacher, but a teacher in any different domain. So it's having the confidence to speak to people, being able to diffuse moments of tension or conflict. Social, welfare, business, marketing and advertising sectors all use skills that you can find in this GCSE course. So although they start here, they definitely don't end. This is the sort of thing that gets the ball rolling, but I would expect that if you want to develop these skills over time, you need to be reflective and analytical, which is exactly what the course gives. And then finally, if you want to be willing to work hard, to listen, be creative, have a bit of fun, and push yourself to be as excellent as you possibly can be, then please do think about taking GCSE Drama. I would love to have you if you can follow those things and give a little bit of flair to what you bring to the table. If there are any questions, please feel free to email me or come find me in school, and that's pretty much all I have to say. Thank you very much for listening.